Okay, let me share a quick principle or some form of understanding with you. Nobody owns anything, including those who buy stuff cash. What a lot of people don't understand is that when it comes to property investing or property development or property ownership, you're just an owner by name, but nobody necessarily owns anything. And that sort of mindset has to come into your investment journey. And why do I put it that way? Why do I say nobody really owns anything? Everybody, including those who have bought properties cash, pays municipal rates. So there are rates and taxes that you pay because you're a homeowner. And those taxes are directly linked to how much your home value is. And at the same time, if you have bought your house or your apartment in an estate, you're also going to be paying levies, which tells me that it doesn't matter whether you've paid for your property cash or you financed it through the bank, you are still going to pay to live in that house. You are still going to pay a certain amount of money to your local municipality, your local government, as well as to your body corporate for them to maintain the outside of your estate. Obviously, the outside of your house or the outside of the building where you are occupying that particular unit. So it's important for you to then see it for what it is and say, nobody actually outrightly owns anything. So whether I am using my cash to buy this thing and not owe it, I'm still going to owe some form of money that needs to be paid to the government, or some form of money that needs to be paid to the municipality, or some form of money that needs to be paid to the body corporate. So having that understanding puts you in a position where now you look at it from the perspective of now just outrightly being an investor. Because you're an investor, you know that even if you paid cash for this thing, it is still going to cost you something. It is then better for you to take your cash and spread it across several assets within the property industry. So diversifying within the same asset class. And that could mean you are investing in buy-to-let property where you put a tenant and the tenant is going to cover your bond. And some of that money is going to be used also to pay for these levies and these municipal costs. Then that puts you in a position where you've transferred all these things that you owe to somebody else. So that person, for as long as they live in your property, will have to pay you rental. And sometimes you will charge some of these services that you need to be paying and maintaining the property on a monthly basis to this person. Now, another thing is that now instead of taking like 500,000 rands and putting it in one apartment because you believe in buying things cash, because your mindset is that you need to outrightly own something. Now that you've been reminded that you don't outrightly really own anything for as long as you need to keep paying for it, then you might as well then say, if I'm going to be paying for municipal costs anyway, if I'm going to be paying for levies anyway, I might as well take that 500,000 and put 100,000 rands deposit on 5 properties, right? Because it's the same amount of money. If you've got capacity to then finance properties through the bank is willing to finance multiple properties to one person, provided that person affords the property or affords the bond. So if that person, for instance, qualifies for a 5 million rand bond, they can decide to buy 5 properties instead of buying one 5 million rand house. Or if they qualify for a 500,000 rands bond, they can decide to buy 2 houses worth 250,000 rands. So they've got 2 properties in their portfolio. And of course, you need to search for those kinds of properties that are available at that amount. Obviously, you have to look at where they're situated, what kind of location, what kind of area, what kind of building, whether or not that particular building is in good financial standing. All of those things are important. But the most important thing is the mindset behind your investment journey. Looking at it from the perspective of using your money and spreading it across multiple investments. And the reason why you would be able to do that is simply because of how you see things for what they are. That you never really own anything. For as long as you need to continue to pay to maintain something, you don't really own it. You own it on paper. But stop paying the municipality. Eventually, they can even sell your house depending on how much you owe them. So it's important for you to then look at it from an investment point of view and say, I don't necessarily have to own it cash anyway because I have to continue to pay for it. If my 500,000 can spread across 5 properties and I've got 5 tenants that are staying there and they are paying the rental and the rental covers the bond and covers all sorts of costs, then of course I will benefit from the upside when I sell these properties and they've grown in value and some of the bond has been repaid by the tenant. But at the same time, understanding that you don't necessarily have to invest in that way only. There are other ways in which you could buy properties that have got multiple tenants in the township and many other areas in the suburbs as well. And also taking advantage of flipping the properties. So obviously this is said from a high level because the main thing is the mindset behind why and how you're investing. Understanding that we never really outrightly own anything the way we think we do. The important thing is understanding that you don't really own the stuff that you think you own, including a car. There are certain costs that one has to continue to pay in that car while it depreciates in value. But obviously that's a totally different story. There aren't any taxes that one needs to pay to own a car. All right, I hope this has been of value and I hope we change our mindset around how we use what we have to build. And if you haven't subscribed, please click on the subscribe button, click on the notifications bell, share this video with someone, and remember, it's more than just money. It's more than just money. It's the mindset that we have. It's how we see things. It's the relationships we build. It's the kind of investments that we invest in. I wish you all the best and I wish you all the success. Ciao, ciao.